can't sit up here on my brand new handy dandy table in my pantry. Welcome, friends. You're at that 1870s Homestead. My name's Rachel. And since we've been doing this homesteading lifestyle every year in some form or fashion, at least since we've been doing YouTube, I've given you an end of the season pantry tour video of some type. And I'm personally bored with it. I don't know about you guys, but nothing much changes in my pantry other than what I'm capable of doing in scale and the amount of food that we're able to preserve. So I should sit more center. So, and I know we have just viewers that come in at different times through different seasons. And some viewers aren't necessarily watching each and every video, so there's context lost in the grand scheme of our life. And so let me just set context real quick in case there's new viewers here. So all you tried and true people, just go do dishes or something. So we grow on our homestead just to feed our family. And what is our family? Our family is my husband and I. All of our kids are grown and out of the house, living their own lives, married or single and doing their own thing. But that being said, we share a lot with our children. So they know that they can come to mom and dad's grocery store and get whatever they need, or they come over and visit and help. And it's, do you need anything? Do you want anything? Or sometimes we even just pay them for their help when they're here in the form of bacon or cowboy candy or something like that. Moms and dads that live in the area, they're always gifted a nice Christmas basket. We host sometimes family gatherings and, of course, feed then a crowd. But for the most part, day in and day out, it's my husband and I. So keep that in mind when you see the scale of our food storage. What my food storage needs may not always translate to what your food storage needs are. So I just wanted to set that context. And then I started off the video because I thought that was intentional to say, that was from the last 2 rounds of doing dishes. Maybe 3 rounds of doing dishes. But we use our pantry. This feeds us. This is our food. And I know when I first got started, and some of you might just be getting started too, you're intimidated by the work that goes into it, and you kind of want to just hang on to it. You don't want to eat it. But I did all that work to put that in that jar. Don't grab that one first. Because suddenly you appreciate the effort that it takes to grow food and preserve food and put it in a jar and make it consumable. And it probably took me a year or so to get that mentality gone away with, that this isn't a prepper's pantry. This is not in case of an emergency pantry. This is our life pantry. This is what we eat from. This is my grocery store. So when I need to make a meal, I come down here and I pull off what I need to make that meal, or I plan meals around what we have available. Yeah, we do use it a lot. And when I had to put all those jars away, I thought, oh, good gosh, I need to get down here and just give everyone an update on the pantry before it looks like I didn't do anything this year. So you saw where I was storing my jars, and I know it's not the best place, and I'm sure I always get tips of how I could store my jars better. It's okay, I know, but for now, that's what I'm working with. It's underneath the stairs over here behind the pantry. And when all was said and done, and this was been probably a month and a half or so ago, I don't know when I did my last big canning event, but I was down to 2 boxes of quarts I had no pints left, and I think I had like 2 half pints or 4-ounce jar cases left. So now I'm back up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 half pints. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 pints. And when I say 5, what am I talking about? That's, your flat, your case of jars that you buy at the store. And I think I'm back up to 5 or 6 quarts. So since all is said and done, we've eaten a lot. So keep that in mind when you see things, shelves not quite full. We are enjoying the fruits of our labor. So I think what I'll do is probably not go into all the details. We have lots of pantry tour videos. Maybe I'll just highlight some of my favorites and tell you what's different since last year. So the first thing that's probably the most different is I ran out of space this year in my pantry without doing like some serious reorganization. So this bottom shelf, actually these bottom 2 shelves originally were built for crates, like, storing crates of potatoes and onions and things like that. I never, even when we built the pantry just a few years ago, I never thought I would have the capacity or the capabilities to put up this much food. So bravo to me. I'm very proud of myself. And you should be super proud of yourself. It's a lot of work to grow your own food, preserve your own food, or go and buy whatever you're sourcing in order to preserve your own food. So I take no shame or don't feel prideful in that I'm proud of the efforts that we've done. But what happened is, I think last year I consumed this shelf, and this year I've officially consumed the bottom shelf, and the bottom shelf's almost all double stacked with food storage. I have taken over some of this middle shelf behind me, and then also that bottom shelf in the past was all wines. The wines are relocated, and that bottom shelf is full. So we've certainly added to the amount of food stored, and that was intentional and purposeful. And the reason being that was purposeful is because for the past 2 years, I've been building up my storehouse because next year we're not gardening. So I need to plan on having 2 years worth of food in order to sustain the lifestyle that we want to sustain, where we're eating organic, we grew it, we preserved it foods. If you're new here and you don't know why I'm not gardening next year, I'll link that video in the description box, or ask Todd to put it as an end card. But so for the last 2 years, it's been gangbusters for me, putting up as much as I can in my stores so that I don't really have a concern or a worry with taking next year off. So some fun new things is this year, for the first time ever, I canned a lot of fruits. I canned apples, pears, peaches. I've never canned just whole fruits before. I've done like sauces, pie fillings, things like that, but I really wanted some just whole fruits canned. So we got a lot of that done. Let me see. We ended up doing corn for the first time last year. We really enjoyed it. We liked our home canned corn way better than store-bought corn. So we bulked up a little bit on our canned corn. Anything else new? Oh, yep. I think I shared this with a lot of people, but I had, much to my chagrin, you guys convinced me to grow more peppers this year in my garden, and I had just, again, so I was so blessed. I'm glad I did it totally. But I had still abundant harvest of peppers, so we pickled a lot of our bell peppers, and I thought that turned out really cool, and I haven't used it yet in a recipe, but I'm getting shy on the frozen. Still have tons freeze-dried, but I look forward to tossing these in a recipe. And then my most excited thing new this year probably is canned spinach for the first time. We got lots and lots of canned spinach put up. Been just restocking meats as needed. And that's pretty much the new things this year. I have shared with others that we keep, I know it looks like a lot of variety, and it is, but it's all grown from staple crops. Tomatoes, peas, carrots, your greens, beets, potatoes. I don't do a lot of variety in my garden, but focusing on a staples garden allows me to get some serious variety. So example, salsa verde came from my green unripened tomatoes. I didn't have to grow tomatillos to get salsa verde. The corn, also got corn relish, and I'll also get corn cob syrup from that. So lots of things that I try to share on my channel just to help you stay focused on production when it comes to your garden. And now when we bring that into the house, how can we get a lot of different things? So let's talk about just like some of the variations of tomato products. We have salsa, we have tomato sauce, we have tomato soup. Like I said, the salsa verde, I've got ketchup, I have barbecue sauce, I have Sloppy Joe sauce, and I think that's everything on the pint shelves with respect to tomatoes. So yeah, I think that that's my big learning, and what we try to do here is to keep it simple yet productive. So let's head over to the quart jars and see if anything's exciting and worth sharing. But for the most part, everything is fully stacked. Some of the winter prep that I have to do down here, I'm just going to be gross and show you guys, and then I'll go wash my hands. So that is a mouse dropping. We do have mice. It's just the state of living on a farm and in a farmhouse. I don't think that those are new. Those are probably from last year, but it's getting cold outside. I need to do some mouse preventative measures down here. One of the things I keep, I'm sure it's here. It's here somewhere on one of my shelves, is peppermint oil. So I'll go through and I'll run a bead of peppermint essential oils across the shelves. Todd usually does do some traps down here. And I recently learned that if you put out a dish of equal parts baking soda and flour, mix that together, a mouse can't digest baking soda, and so they meet their demise if they consume that. So I'll probably put out a couple dishes of that throughout the basement. So that is something I have to do for winter. And then a winter project I want to do is, believe it or not, I believe I have lost things in here. I know I have more Dijon mustard and I cannot find it. And that's where my pantry got this year, with the state of how many different products I have and the need to just get things in and out really fast as I'm doing preserving windows. And like example, I've got corn here, I've got corn here. I want to get everything off the shelves, and Todd has suggested, Rachel, you need to just alphabetize your system. So if you're looking for Dijon mustard, go to the D section. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to think about at least coming down here and doing a really thorough organization. How well it stays, well, I don't know, but I need to, just for the intent, to find my Dijon mustard because I can't find it. All right, so let's, like I said, head over to the quarts now. Okay, so this is the quart section. And before I get into this, does anyone have a guess? I would say within 100 jars. Within 100 jars, because I don't know if that's good. Let's see. Anyone have a guess how many jars are in my pantry with food in them? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shelves on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shelves on the other. And I did, just because I'm prepping for the next pantry chat I want to have with you guys. And it's all about whether or not this is affordable. And please stick around for that video because it's definitely worth a conversation. So in prep for that video, I had to get an idea of how many jars have I purchased, how many jars is on my pantry shelves right now. Take a guess, and we'll talk about it in the next video. Leave your guess though below. I want to see what people are thinking. So nothing new here. This is my spaghetti sauce roe, chili base, Cajun tomatoes. I think the only thing different is I don't know that last year it was a full row. And the new thing is now this bottom shelf, which is down here, has tons of tomato sauces. I really don't think I changed up a whole lot with respect to anything I did with my quart canning this year. The only brand new thing, honestly, that we ate for the first time the other day was the balsamic maple glazed Brussels sprouts. I have pickled Brussels sprouts before, and this is considered a pickled recipe, but it was just a simple pickle brine. This, guys, it is beyond decadent. I said, if Brussels sprouts could ever taste like candy, these do. And it is so good. So we have just all kinds of things down here. We have, like, in case you're new, I don't want to be disrespectful if you're interested. I've got more beets than my heart could desire put up. And if you're not new here, we eat a ton of beets during the winter. It's like one of our favorite side dishes. So I think I have 5 full quart rows of beets. We restocked on our green tomato curry. So this is an example of something else like wonderful to give you a lot of variation beyond just a chili base. Cajun tomatoes, your Italian, spaghetti sauces, marinara sauces. Let's see, anything else new? Canned meat for the first time in quarts. I've never done that, but I did share that on a video. I don't think anything else drastically new. It's just restocking and rebuilding up the pantry for what I need. I have some pumpkins here. I did not grow those. I pick those up at the end of the season when they're on sale, just because they're really good looking, larger pie-ish pumpkins, and I will want to can some of those up. So what am I thinking as I go into a season with not growing food? So I know without a doubt, I forgot to share, underneath my table that I'm sitting on, I do have crates of onions, the russet potatoes that I didn't can. I get a lot of questions about that, canning potatoes. I don't like russets canned. You can do it. They just tend to get mushy and fall apart on you. So I find that they're probably only good for things like mashed potatoes or soups. And we'd like to, if you stick around. If you're not subscribed and this kind of content interests you, subscribe, because then we show all winter long. Our focus is sharing with you guys how do we use the food that we grow here on our farm and make wholesome meals. So we've shown our canned potatoes. We like to fry those up. And I can't do that with a canned russet like I can a canned Kennebec potato. So sweet potatoes also down there. But anyway, what am I thinking? Can we make it? Are we going to be okay? That's my number one. Yes, we are going to be fine. Not only next year without having food coming in, but the following year while we wait to grow the season of 2024. Wow, time's flying by. So we're going to be fine. I know that there's probably 2 things that I will need to go to farmer's market to buy. That is onions and potatoes. Onions and potatoes, while I can grow a lot, and this year with all the onions that I grew, I just turned those into my caramelized onions and my maple onion jam because they were kind of puny and I didn't think that they were going to store that great. And then I went to a farmer's market anyway this year and bought those storage onions that you see in the crate. So next year I'll definitely be buying onions and potatoes. Everything else, I think what I just have to do is be more diverse instead of always picking our favorites. Because we do have your favorites, just like you do when you go to the grocery store and you tend to pick the same things because those are your favorite meals. So all we need to do is, instead of always eating our carrots, eat more green beans, instead of, or work in the corn, right? And it's just kind of like, I need to be more thoughtful. Like if I had this last week, I should pick something else this week. And we don't eat a lot. We cook typically 3 or 4 meals a week, and then we eat leftovers the rest of the week. And what I haven't shown in today's video is we have that freezer right there is a chest freezer that is filled to the brim with garden produce and harvest. And I use it regularly. So there's like chopped onions, chopped bell peppers, grated carrots, grated zucchini, diced green tomatoes, green tomato apple pie filling, like all of our blueberries, strawberries, things like that. So this isn't everything we have, right? So I have that whole chest freezer, and then behind you guys, I have 2 freezers, stand-ups that are full of the meat that we grow on farm. And that is pig, chicken, turkey, goat, and then we have a little bit of beef that we bought from a local farmer. And Todd caught us fish this year, which I didn't highlight, but that's something that I'm super excited about having on the pantry shelves this year. Some of our own fish to make our own fish cakes, and we've already made a smoked salmon spread with that smoked salmon. Oh, so good. So, yeah, that's our wrap up of our pantry, where we are. I can't wait to, this time next year, having not added much back. I will do some winter soup canning because I love doing that. There are things in my freezer that I will have to pull out and manage, and just so it doesn't get freezer burned. So I will be doing some canning with the things that I need to work out of the freezer and get on the pantry shelves, but not that big, huge canning lift. So you saw the jars. They are not all going to fit under these stairs by the time that it's all said and done. And the nice thing about me taking this next year off, guys, is you need to eat through your pantry food, right? When it's homegrown and home preserved. This is going to help me do that. I've got probably the oldest jars are from 2020. There may be a random 2019 jar in here, but this season is going to allow me to eat through a lot of my food stores and start fresh and build back up a pantry. So you guys stick around. When we go into the 2024 season, it'll be all about rebuilding that big pantry stock. So that's it. And I am so thankful, so thankful that you guys have been such an encouragement, such a joy to just get to share my life with Todd as well. And, when we first started this, people were saying, do you have a YouTube channel and stuff? And I was like, what do we have to offer to anyone? It felt just as intimidated as anybody else starting out. But yet, I don't know. It's just a whole learning process. And I can't guarantee you that I know for sure I'm still learning every single day something new. And I hope to keep sharing those learnings with you guys. So I'll talk to you guys later and see you on the next video. Bye, guys.